Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Justice for All, as we're really poking a beehive here as we dissect Shelley DeKiller's testimony. However, I'm worried that this might be bad for Maya in the long term, and the short term, and the all term of it all. While we prolong this case to wait for evidence, will we be reaching our end soon? Because if we poke the bear like this, and bears are literally really related to this case, I can't see it going on much longer. Why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Because her name is masculine, of course. Our last point was the fact that he's never met Adrian Andrews, saying he way too much. Her name! Yes, Adrian Andrews is, without a doubt, a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unluckily for Mr. DeKiller, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? Shelley DeKiller, this court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I know he's just going to spit out more lies. Though mind you, he's also willing to testify himself anyway. Very well, but this time please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. Under oath, sir. Not that we can hold you for contempt of court. Now we're going to catch you as well. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of Juan Clida and 2 or 3 other small things. Well, that's an interesting statement anyway. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. Going completely back on what he said before. So you took this job through a letter? He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he is definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. See, this is what I thought. I know, I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. Well, I've already seen an interesting statement because it's the 2 or 3 other things, the clarification there.
Hold it!
But let's press first of all, just get some information, but maybe not bug him too much. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come now, let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me. Alright then, just cough it up and confess. Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. DeKiller met with his client? No? I'm sorry, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I don't have any proof. I see. Then your line of questioning was just another waste of time. Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong. But we delayed? That's always good. There have been times when I took a client without having met my client, or job.
Hold it!
I killed a client as well. And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I have been receiving more requests. If I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities? On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times and now take requests via electronic mail. Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a special insulated envelope? I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what is commonly referred to as an email. Email? In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot, hands down. Well, we've had one on show, and I'm not sure he did. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and... So we get to the interesting statement here. The request was for the murder of Juan Clida and 2 or 3 other small things. What are those 2 or 3 is what I want to know. 2 or 3 other things. In fact, that's exactly what Phoenix harped on straight away, like bang! Yes. And what were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Kinda need to know though. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney. Yes, oh. Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one... Wait. Oh, this is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Yes, because we need to know what those 2 and 3 other things are. Because it's stuff like that suicide note, etc. What else could it be? Or looking after Engarde's mansion? You know... Press it. Witness, this is a very important matter. Please only just be a penalty. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Creed's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client? Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. One of these was to find the bear figurine and to give it to Adrian Andrews.
Hold it!
But how did it end up in Engarde Manor? I found this figurine in Mr. Engarde's mansion. Look, you're on there straight away. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was it doing there? I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Engarde, I'm sure. Well, we definitely got him in a lie now because Will Paris saw it being handed over. That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony? I want to present, really. I think there's... I have an objection. There's a contradiction. But is it that or just presenting? So Tequila says he gave the figurine to Miss Andrews. But I know somewhere in that statement there is a contradiction. And yet, I know that if I present something trivial here, he will cut the connection on his end. If you want to make a strong point, Phoenix, you have to present strong evidence. She's right. So now what, Dr. Wright? Present evidence. Witness, let's go over this one more time. You gave Miss Andrews the bear figurine, and she told you to take the bear and wait for it on Engarde Mansion. Is that correct? Yes. Where are you going with this? Well, I think maybe you might have remembered a few things incorrectly. What? This is a battle of wits. I can't let up on him. I don't think it is possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of this bear. It's pretty much bearing down to the fact that she always wanted this. She always wanted hold of it, and her motive for getting hold of it wasn't to display it across the world. It was to kind of like not shame Celeste. She wanted to destroy it. She also knew how to disassemble the toy figurine, whatever you want to call it. Jewelry box is how it was described. So she could have done that in probably a couple of seconds, took what she wanted, and then been gone with the rest of it. She wouldn't have needed to take it back. That's extremely lax again.
Take that!
I think that is perfect reasoning. Shelley Tequila. if you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item? I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where's everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it. For her sake. If even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. For definite, because of her dependency. It's like a medical thing as well in some senses. Just regardless, she'd have done it. You could probably prove it using her dependency as a reason. Order, order, order! So that's where you two are going! So by the very fact that a suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means? It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Yes, it needs someone to disassemble. Don't miss some syllables. Woohoo! He blew up again. Order, order, order! Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that's not. That's enough. If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do. Wait, please. Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to.
Hold it!
No, please. Not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... What in the... Mr. Wright, are you? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there's a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Mayor, she'll... In a weird way, you end up being murderous. Here's what Mayor wants, though. The prosecution... What has come over everyone? Even you are! The prosecution... rests. What is going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. DeKiller's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley DeKiller's client is Adrian Andrews. You're basically choosing who dies. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. If I end the trial here right now, then your client Matt Engarde would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. Oh my... What am I gonna do if it actually comes to a choice? The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant Matt Engarde to the stand. The items from DeKiller's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Dude, Did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. Ha! So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. Engarde! What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap is just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? You better get Engarde a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. Huh. Do I get to choose? If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Matt Engarde, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you? Right. I can't do this. But I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt Engarde, is... Oh my... To be honest, while we were talking, I already decided. And I would decide the way that a friend says in this sense. There is someone not involved... Adrian Andrews is not guilty, does not deserve to die. Maya does not deserve to die. But Maya is the one who has resolve. And if I let her live, will she ever forgive me? She probably will in a way, but if she dies, there is still a way to be around her, but it's not exactly satisfying, is it now? This would be the best cliffhanger to leave you on, by the way. I'm going to have to put guilty. Because I want Matt Engarde to go down. At least justice is done. Maya will not die happy. But if we see her again, thanks to Pearl, she'll probably be able to forgive us. She wouldn't be able to forgive us, or we wouldn't be able to look in her in the eye if we didn't. And so it comes. We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt Engarde, your client deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Matt Engarde is...
Objection!
Franziska von Karma! What are you doing? Ow! You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off of that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces. Do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine, and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this. What a filthy old coat this is! That's Gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologise for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final piece of evidence. Pieces, even. Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What?
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one rule obviously applies here. One obvious rule. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police. He must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around. Like a miracle. It seems that this is running on for a bit more with more evidence to discover. And we're about to sail Maya down the river Styx a little bit. But join me next time for more Phoenix Wright. Surely a conclusion is coming. Matt Engarde is on the stand. And the killer waits. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.